Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to be sharing with you my 5-star reads so far this year, which I know the year is coming to an end. This is usually like a mid-year kind of thing, but it doesn't matter. We're doing it now because my other video that's supposed to go up today, I haven't even started yet, and this upload date is just a few days away. So anyways, we are going to take a look at my 5-star reads from this year so far. And here's what we're working with, which this isn't even all of them. I want to say 2 or 3 I have lent out to my mother, and then one was an ebook. So we're gonna start from the order that I read them in, so the oldest one to the newest one. Okay, so first up we have Silent Patient, which I know this had huge hype. This was super popular. If you don't know what this is, you've been living under a rock. This was one of the first books, if not the first book I read this year, and it was a 5-star. I loved it. I love mystery stuff, thriller stuff, psychological, like those kind of things, and that's what this was. It wasn't scary, so not like a spooky thriller, but it was a psychological twister thriller of a book. We're following this patient who has been silent for 10 years after she allegedly killed her husband. And the psychologist, or what is he actually called? Psychotherapist? I don't know. But he's like trained to deal with like the really bad cases in psychology. And he becomes her doctor, and he's trying to get her to talk and figure out what happened. Like, why did you shoot your husband in the face 5 times and then go silent? This is so good. There's multiple twists and just, oh, I ate it up. I loved it. Okay, next we've got Lights Out. I know, again, most of these, if not all of these, were super popular book talk books. Don't judge me, but this book, I ate it up. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Shockingly, so like the second book came out, you know, a couple months ago, Caught Up. I DNF'd it. I didn't like it, which I was very disappointed because I was highly anticipating that book. But this book was 5 stars. So we're following this girl who likes watching these thirst traps on TikTok of these like men in masks. Like, that's her kink. Our other main male character, which I believe we go back and forth on the POVs, which I love that. We are following a guy who does thirst traps on TikTok and happens to be the one that she likes the best. But you know, they meet in other ways. She has no idea it's him, that kind of thing. Love it. You've got a little bit of violence, nothing too crazy or gory or whatever. We got some stalker. We have a lot of trigger warnings when it comes to the sensual parts because I mean there's a lot. So be sure to read the trigger warnings. Like, if I can, let me see, show them to you just like briefly to how long this list of trigger warnings is. So yeah, be aware of that, but I loved that. I ate it up. It was funny while also being like an edge of like thrill and dark romance. So I ate that sucker up. Okay, next, Fourth Wing. It's not that I jumped on the bandwagon. It took me a long time to read this, despite knowing how popular it was, because I was just scared. I was scared I wasn't gonna like it. I don't know. I was still very new into reading when I finally got to this, but oh my gosh, it is extremely hyped, and there's a reason. It is so worth the hype. Like, it lives up to its expected. You know, like it lives up to the hype, okay? If you don't know anything about it, there's a, you know, fantasy world, dragon riders, like a academy, so there's like school, but it's like high stakes, meaning if you don't make it, it's because you died, not just because you're like, oh, I quit or I failed the class, I'm gonna go home. Like, you either make it or you die. So like, it's high stakes. Our MMC is the best MMC in the world. Fight me. I haven't found one I like better than Zayden, and oh. So we have, you know, romance in there too. So definitely romantasy, but there is a lot of fantasy. It's not just romance, but there's a good amount of romance too, and tension, and it's a little spicy. Not like insane, but it is a little spicy, and love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, next I've got Twisted Love. I, again, put this off for a while. I had the book for a long time before I finally read it, and I loved it. Like, ate it up. I did not expect to, and maybe that's the reason that I rated it so high, because I expected less of it. I don't know why, but I just did. I also hadn't read like full-on romance yet, which this I think is kind of dark romance, but not like fully dark romance. But I loved it. We have the girl who's like sunshine. We have the grumpy MMC who's like a billionaire and like super rich, and he's like, and they're kind of like rivals. He is her brother's best friend, which I love that trope. Okay. Yeah, we got like touch her and die. Like, I'm gonna take care of you, but also like a lot of tension. They don't like each other at first, and it's amazing. Highly recommend. I haven't gotten to the second book yet, but I can't wait to. Okay, next is The Housemaid. My mother still has my copy, so I don't have it with me, but I, again, loved this book. These are popular books, and I'm sorry, but if you don't know anything about this one, we have this girl who becomes a housemaid of this rich family, and she's starting to see stuff happen, like behind the scenes, of course, because she's a live-in nanny, so she lives there. She's seeing like the wife's kind of crazy. She like might have a little crush on the husband, you know, just stuff like that. And then we've got some twists multiple that I did not expect, and I loved it. And there's a whole bunch of other books I haven't gotten to yet, and I really want to, but this was a 5-star. I loved it. It was an easy, quick read, and it, you know, the twist got me, so that's all I can ask for. Okay, next we have Check and Mate. When I annotate a book, I only really like annotating like romance books, but when it ends up looking like this, you know I loved it. This book was my first official like feel-good, I think of it like feel-good goody two-shoes romance book. I devoured it, fell in love with romance books because of this book, and like there are no words. There are no words for how much I loved this. So we have these two, it's like rivals to lovers. They're both really good at chess, and he's like the best in the world, and then she comes up and beats him when she hasn't played chess in like forever because there's like issues. She's got issues with chess. All that to come, rivals to lovers. There's not much else to give, but I was obsessed. Love this book. This also made Ali Hazelwood my favorite author of all time. So just, if you haven't read this book by her yet, I highly recommend it. Okay, next we've got The Most Famous Girl in the World. This one is not a popular book talk book, so also many tabs. I ate this book up. I never heard of this book. I got it for free from TikTok, and like again, I loved it. It is a like satire on just like social media and stuff like that. We've got a bit of a thriller, like there's stuff that's going on and we're like trying to figure it out, and we've got romance. So we have a funny mystery romance here, and there's a twist in it that I did not even kind of expect, like at all. Multiple. And it was so good. There was a spice scene, only one, but it was spicy. We have another thing of like rivals to lovers. So basically there's this girl who became the most famous girl in the world from doing criminal things, and there's this writer who's our MMC, and she's like, she got the girl in trouble in the first place, like got her behind bars, but then she got let out, and she's just so frustrated, like why is this girl so famous for doing illegal stuff like that, you know? So she's trying to get her. Oh my goodness. And then the rival, he is a cop who's also trying to get her, but they both want to get to her first because she's like, I want to write the article that puts her away before you just actually put her away, and all this kind of stuff. So good. I highly recommend this book. I loved it. And the cover, it's so cute. I love it. Next, we've got Deep End. Yes, I've heard good and bad stuff about this when I was going into it. Some people loved it. Some people thought it was just crap. But again, another Ali Hazelwood book. I loved this. I ate it up. I really like connected with our characters. I want to say like it has the feel of like BDSM, but it's not. Both of our characters like rough love, right? But you know, with consensual, like within, you know, and they find each other, and it's just like at first they just become like physical, you know, they're not even really friends, they're just kind of acquaintances, and then we're seeing, does it turn into more? What happens? I loved this book. It is highly spicy, very spicy. So if that's something you don't like, you'll get a lot of scenes in here because it starts off pretty quickly because they become physical before actually having any kind of feelings for each other. So it starts soon, it goes through the whole book, but I ate this book up, obsessed. Okay, another Ali Hazelwood book, Love Theoretically. See, I mean, I adored this book, and a reason that I adored this book so much is because I felt like I was literally her. Like, I've never felt so connected to a character before and felt so seen, and like I literally, other than the fact that she's a scientist, which I'm nowhere close to a scientist, everything else was me, and so I loved it. I loved our main male character. Basically we have two physicists. We have a theoretical physicist and a experimental physicist, I think is what it is. So they apparently in that field, those two, just because you're both physicists doesn't mean they actually get along. They kind of don't. So we have, again, more of like a rivals to lovers type of situation. Forced proximity because they're both, I think they're both working for the same school, or at least having to work closely together. And I ate this book up. I thought it was amazing, so sweet, and just, oh, I couldn't. There's a lot of miscommunication. I mean, not like a ton, but there was miscommunication, but it wasn't so much that it drove me nuts. So unless you absolutely can't stand that, I think that's kind of in most love, like romance books, honestly. Like when there comes like a third act conflict, a lot of times it's just miscommunication. But anyways, loved this book, ate it up. Oh my goodness. All right, next is another book that my mom has a copy of, but it is The Butterfly Garden. If you don't know about this, it is a very dark read. It's not like a dark romance or anything. It's just a heavy, dark kind of topic. So if that's something you don't like, there are trigger warnings. Don't read it if any of this kind of stuff's gonna bother you. But I ate it up because there's like another like psychological book, and I devour psychological stuff. Even when it's super, super dark, I love it just because I love psychology and like seeing all these things. If I saw this in real life, no, I would not love it. Because I know stuff like this probably happens, but that's not the point. It's just as a story. Anyways, I don't want to give too much away, but the Butterfly Garden refers to girls and not butterflies, and this man basically like collects these girls. It's sad, it's dark, it's twisted. There's also some wholesomeness, like found family, like among the girls, and there's a good ending. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say, but it is a heavy, heavy topic. So if anything like that, like being captured or, you know, assault, essay, you know, stuff like that, then don't read it. But it's not a long book, and it made me feel a lot, and that's something that makes me rate books high, is when I really feel deeply, whether it's good or bad. Okay, next is this book, Rivalry. Again, this is a book I haven't seen much. This set is a 4-book series. I got the set from TikTok. I had no idea any kind of expectations going into this, and I ate it up. It's dark romance and it's short. I love short books. It's nice to be able to fly through a book sometimes, especially if you want to like put them between these larger books you've read. But I loved it. We've got dark romance, we've got billionaire romance, and grumpy. This was the first grumpy trope I've ever had. If you don't know what that means, like usually it's grumpy sunshine. Like it's usually like the main male character is grumpy and like, and the girl's like all happy, giggly, sweet. And then there's reverse and all this kind of stuff. But grumpy. They're both billionaires, both like hardened, grumpy kind of characters. And I'd never experienced that in a book before. I ate it up. I loved it. We have marriage of convenience, that kind of thing. And this girl's father, so she's a billionaire, but her father's a billionaire too, and his company is rival with this other man's company. And of course, her and that other man, she wants to try to take advantage of him, and he's trying to take advantage of her. You know, they're both kind of playing each other without necessarily like openly claiming to be playing each other. It's so good. There's a little bit of spice, but not much. And the books following there are. I've read the second book, and I really liked it too. It wasn't quite, I mean, first book is usually, in my opinion, the first book's usually the best, but I really like this. So if you're looking for a easy read that's like dark romance, billionaire, that kind of thing, I highly recommend it. Una Out of Order. So I had never seen anything about this book either. I got this again for free from TikTok Shop, and it was in a box of like random books. So I didn't even know I was getting it. I did not want to read this because it didn't seem like any kind of romance in it. And at this point, I was all about romance books. If there was not romance, I did not want to read it. But I made myself read it at one point. It was so good. There's like a little bit of romance, but it's not a romance book. There's time travel. And this girl, Una, every year on her birthday, like once she turns 19 is when this starts. And then every year on her birthday, she wakes up in a different year of her life. No idea what year it is. So like, I don't remember the exact ages, but say on her 19th birthday, she wakes up the next day as like a 52-year-old, something like that. It is insane. There's a lot of time jumping and heartache and beautiful things as well. And just, there's some, you know, twists and again, a little bit of romance, and just, it was beautiful and heart-wrenching all at the same time, but I did not expect to love it as much as I did. So this is one that I definitely recommend. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This was the first Ashley Poston book I've ever read, and I cannot wait to read more of hers because look, remember what I told you about the tabs? Obsessed with this book. It's coastal, like it takes place in North Carolina, which I'm from South Carolina, so I love that aspect of it. But also, we have this girl who's a songwriter. It's taking me a minute. She's a songwriter, and our guy is a guy who was, you know, he was big in a boy band and like when he was a teenager. Literally, this is giving Harry Styles. Like my dream of running into Harry Styles as an adult, like now, and falling in love with him and everything. And yes, I'm engaged and I love my husband, my fiance, but Harry Styles. Like it's literally that. Okay, they run into each other. She's like, I don't really care for this guy, blah, 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 blah. But then they end up working together because there's this magic realism. They both hear a song and they both can hear each other thinking, like from across the world kind of thing. And so they have to come together and figure out how can we make this stop. Literally, I want to reread this at some point because I loved it so much. So if that's your vibe, if Harry Styles was your vibe as a teenager, or even now, you need this book. You need to read it ASAP. All right, The Perfect Marriage. I've had this book for a while and I finally got around to reading it, and oh, I loved it. Okay, mystery thriller. There's murder, obviously, you see that. There were multiple twists. There were twists I did not expect, and I just loved reading it. Again, we have dual POV, so we have the husband and the wife. And if you don't know, the wife is a big, like, hotshot lawyer, very successful, and her husband, he's like a writer. He doesn't really do much except write. I mean, like, he doesn't really have a job and he needs another book, that kind of thing. Well, he has a mistress who one day he, you know, has his night with her, and the next morning she's dead. He doesn't know what happened. He's being charged for murder. We don't know what happened, and the wife takes on the case. She represents him as his lawyer, like putting all feelings aside, because she's like, I believe he didn't do this. Even though I hate him and we might get divorced, I'm going to represent him fairly because I don't think he did this. That kind of thing. Amazing. I ate it up, and I cannot wait to get to the next book. Cannot wait. And then the last book I'm going to talk about is this book here, Under My Skin. I don't have the physical copy. This was an ARC that I got from NetGalley. If you don't know anything about them, I have another video kind of talking about them, but I get digital ARCs from that company. And this was one. I loved it. I mean, obviously this is my 5-star reads list, okay? But this was about a girl who moved away from her small hometown, comes back, like, to visit. Her brother and family still lives there. And then her brother's best friend, again with that trope, her brother's best friend is this tattoo artist, and just this, like, motorcycle riding, like, leather jacket. Oh, they knew each other as kids, of course, growing up. He was her brother's best friend, and they deal with some heavy topics like death and divorce. She doesn't sit on the topic so long that it is actually depressing. She touches on it, but it's still a happy, feel-good book, and all the fall vibes. It is a fall read for sure. Small town, friends or acquaintances to lovers. I ate it up. And like the third act conflict wasn't one where it just like drives you nuts because it's like, oh, it wasn't a miscommunication trope or anything. It was solid. Okay, so I love that book. I highly recommend reading it. It is a hidden gem. So those are all of my 5-star reads so far. I'll do more at the end of the year, the very end of the year, but let me know if you've read any of these, and if not, if I've convinced you to read any of them. And be sure to leave a book emoji if you've made it this far so that I know that you're a real one. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day.